Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 446. I am Brendan. UFC 310 prelims. It's going to be Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes. The rest of the prelims are going to go through all those fights, break them all down round by round. There are a lot of them, so let's hurry this up, huh? Subscribe to the channel. That way you know the next video is coming out. You have to click the subscribe button, otherwise I'm just going to keep talking about it. That's how this works, right? It's an interactive experience. Anyway. Let's get into this. Let's start talking about them. We really do have a lot of fights to get through, and I don't want this video to be 30 minutes if it doesn't have to be. So Dominick Reyes, coming off of his, recent, not resurgence, but his getting back on the right track, getting that win. And then against, I know who it was too, the kickboxer. Oh my God, I'm going to see it and be so upset. Yeah, Nzechukwu, right? Coming off of 4 losses, the one controversial loss against John Jones for the title, which he should have won, a lot of people thought. And then, fighting Jan Blachowicz and getting knocked out, and Yuri Prochazka getting knocked out, Ryan Spann getting knocked out. Everybody thought Ryan Spann was the next big thing, but then he turned out to not be able to put it together. Anyway, interesting that we're here in this position with Anthony Smith and Dominick Reyes. Anthony Smith missed weight on the first attempt, but did manage to get back. Like all things said, that he was 205.5, so that counts. Smith lost his lifelong coach. His coach passed away. It must have been rough, trying to make weight or even get up for this fight. He looked super angry. Reyes was extending his combos, avoiding the takedown. Smith poked him in the eyes at one point. Smith sitting down on those right hands, looking to counter when Reyes opens up with the hooks. Reyes looking good when he rushes in. Smith retreats, and he doesn't let him off the hook. I love when people do that, right? When they rush and then they stop and then they have a reset. Reyes was just keeping the blitz going. I'm just going to keep throwing. We're not resetting. And then near the end of the round, Smith just starts eating like 1,000 jabs, looking angry at him, wanting to just get hit in the face. I don't know if he's doing the rope-a-dope or the Homer Simpson, but he definitely lost this round 10-9 for sure. 48-21 for striking numbers in favor of Reyes. And then the second round was just one-way traffic. Smith gets in a single leg, takes 100 elbows, and eventually ends up in turtle. This was another Mark Goddard screw-up. So I talked about it on the main card. I have no problem with Reyes getting the win here, and even Mark Goddard stopping it, with the TKO finish. Like, he did take 73 shots to 0 in this round, sure, but there's 10 seconds left in this round. Wait, no. 14 seconds, sorry. There's 14 seconds left in this round. And there were 4 punches to the arms that weren't very hard from Reyes, and that's when he decides to stop it. Not the previous ones where he was landing to the head or the side of the head, some of the back, whatever. Like, not any of those. Why did you pick this time? What are you looking at that makes you think like, oh, okay, now it's over. I'm going to pick this moment to stop it. Why? What is the logic behind that? Like, he's not defending himself. Well, I wouldn't defend myself either if someone is punching me in the shoulder, because I'm not going to move and expose my face to protect my shoulder. Do you understand how asinine that is? Like, someone's punching me repeatedly in the shoulder because I have my guard up. I'm not going to be like, oh, stop that, and then defend my shoulder so I can expose my face. I understand that he should have moved, and I understand that he needed... I get all that. But stop the fight when he hits him in the head. What are you stopping it for when he's essentially missing? Those don't even count as punches. And I don't mean that they don't do damage because they hit the shoulder. I mean, they literally don't count as punches on the striking numbers. Those count as blocked strikes, missed strikes. Good grief. Anyway, good win for Dominick Reyes. He looked fine. Sucks for Anthony Smith. So much of that sucks. Bad time. Real bad time. All right. Oops, can't read it. Can't read my times. Vicente Luque taking on Themba Gorimbo. Don't need to pull up the stats for this one. Gorimbo finding the low kick really hard to start, but then a right hand from Luque as Gorimbo moves in, drops him, jumps on, like Gorimbo shoots a takedown, then he jumps on an anaconda choke and puts him to sleep with it. Fucking Luque, not back. I don't think he ever really went anywhere. He's just still so dangerous and so good. I love watching that guy fight. It's fantastic. Such a good fighter. All right. Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. Just a battle of control time. Not a lot of striking, if we can see here. 3-1, 5-3, and 4-4 in all three in rounds 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Control time just switched back and forth. But here's the thing: if you look at the last round, the control time doesn't tell the whole story, because the last round there was a little bit of like the total strikes, and not the significant strike. So Sterling starting out with stabbing kicks to the body in this first round, poking from the outside, staying light on his feet. Evloev trying to track him down, just nothing in range early. Sterling gets the takedown and riding the hips in the middle of the cage, which is really rare. Usually people find their way out of that, especially a good wrestler like Evloev. He finally able to do it against the fence. I thought that was crazy. Nice fence grab from Evloev, so real cool there. Like again, the referee just, was it Goddard again? No, it was Herzog. It's just ridiculous. They don't even swat at their hand. They just tell them, but it already affected the fight. So you can't take it back. Sterling picks him up and slams him down, but Evloev able to get some control of his own, ends around in the inverted crucifix, doing a bit of damage, but hard round to call, essentially. But if you look at what happened here, not a lot of striking, not a lot of damage. The damage on the feet went to Sterling. The damage on the ground went to Evloev. I don't think either one of them really outweighed the other one. The control time is really what it came down to, and Evloev was in a more dominant position when he was in control for that at the very end, but Sterling had way more control time across the whole round. I gave it to Sterling. Second round, Sterling right away getting the double leg. Evloev able to get out of it, get on top, and get some clinch work. Back up with 2:30 left, and then right back down. Sterling ends a round chasing a takedown. He just didn't do enough with it. Didn't do enough this round. 3 minutes and 25 seconds of control time for Evloev. Last round, Evloev spinning like a doofus, and Sterling gets a takedown along the fence again. Sterling went for the back in the scramble, but ends up on bottom, essentially trying to create offense. That's the problem here. He tried to create offense, which gave an open for Evloev, and then now he's on top. So it's a really dumb round from Evloev, and he's going to win it because of recency bias, because he was on top at the end of the round. So, and I would have scored it for him anyway, because I do believe he did more damage, right? He did land 72 total strikes to Sterling's 13. So he did land more damage, and I would have given it to him. But you can tell just by the way people are talking, like they acted like this was a 10-8 round or some shit. It wasn't. It was a fine round by Evloev, just really boring to watch. All right, Randy Brown versus Bryan Battle. Bryan Battle missing weight by 4 fucking pounds. That's too much. That's too much. I mean, this essentially is a catchweight fight. That's ridiculous. Was it a catchweight? Did they make it a catch? Nope, they kept it welterweight. Interesting. Brown starts the round walking him down, then Battle slowly backs him down, keeping his guard high, taking most of it of the punches on the arms, really trying to wear Brown out by just walking into the range. He's taking shots in the body. He looks dismissive of all the shots coming back to him, but he is getting hit. Battle gets to the clinch against the fence. He really wanted to do that, and you could see that play out as the fight went on. Brown gets a body lock takedown and on top to end the round, doing a little bit of damage, but really it was what he did totally through the round. 21-14 in favor of Brown for striking numbers. Clearly a 10-9 for him, but you could kind of see the writing on the wall. If Brown couldn't keep this pace up and stay away, Battle was going to wear him down, and that's what we saw in the second round. Battle forcing his way into the clinch, controlling Brown, invites the clinch again, reverses it, and gets back to control. It's really stupid by Brown to engage that close in tight. I would have just stayed on the. I know this armchair quarterbacking. Could I beat either one of these guys? Fuck no. I get that. Blah 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 blah. I'm not criticizing him for doing that in that time. It was just a dumb decision, right? I'm not saying he's a dumb person for doing it. I'm just saying that at that time he made the wrong decision. Right, Battle landing multiple knees to the body, 2 to the head. Brown now swinging wild, looking kind of tired, looking to land a big shot to kind of stop the pressure. Brown is leaning over his feet way too much, getting caught in the clinch after successful body shots that he does find. So he got outstruck here, 22-15. Battle winning this round clearly. So look at the control time, 2 minutes and 37 seconds, 56-21. I'm reading off these numbers because I know of a card in here that went another way, and I'd like to look at it. Oh my. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. If you guys saw whose name it is up there. Brown, Battle clearly won the second round, 19-19. Last round here. Brown able to start the round hard with that energy, the same kind of energy he had in the first round, but he just gets tired, backing up, trying to dodge, turning his back, even running away. Battle forcing the clinch again. Brown just couldn't do anything, could get anything going, even though he outstruck him 24-21. A lot of those body shots and stuff, getting controlled against the cage in a fight where everything looks equal, right? Look at the total strikes, 35-30 in favor of Battle. There's significant strikes, 24-21 in favor of Brown. Very close on the feet for total numbers. If you looked at that damage, 10 to the head, 10-9 to the body in favor of Brown, and then 4-2 to the legs in favor of Brown. So not a ton of difference makers when it comes to that stuff, but that 3 minutes and 30 seconds of control time for Battle, that's a big difference maker. So all that other stuff being pretty close, that clearly goes to Battle. Let's look at the judges' scorecard, shall we? I am interested to see what we have here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, interesting. So Ron McCarthy and Adelaide Bird get it right, which is hilarious. And Mike Bell is the one who gets it wrong. Yeah, unreal. I mean, I at least would think that Mike Bell would have a reason for it. I just don't know what he thought he saw in there. I don't know what he thought. He thought Brown did that much more damage, that it clearly outweighed the damage that was coming back at him. I find it hard to make that argument. You'd have to get real persnickety to make that argument. All right, Chris Weidman taking on Eryk Anders. This is a catch weight fight, and this wasn't because anybody missed weight. They were supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, but Anders got sick or whatever, so they couldn't fight. So they just decided, like, hey, we're not going to cut weight again. Now, first round looked great for Weidman. Anders trying to corner him and even shoots on him, which was really weird, getting him into the clinch. Anders catches a kick, and Weidman landing a bunch of shots. Anders landed a head kick at one point, again shooting for a takedown. Anders knees him in the head while he's down, and holy shit, Mark Smith just warns him and then walks and then continues like, hey, that's a hard warning. Don't do that. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't know what you have to do to get a point deduction anymore. It seems completely random. Sometimes if you grab the fence hard enough, then they'll take a point. But if you grab it 3 or 4 times lightly, then, no point deduction. If you knee a guy in the head on the ground and he doesn't act hurt, then it's to his detriment. If he's actively trying to defend himself and he gets back up instead of like crawling on the ground and agonizing and like pretending he's in agony, then you're going to penalize him by not giving him a point, getting a point deduction to the other guy. So you're incentivizing them to dive. That's what you're doing by doing this. By not taking a point when the person doesn't act hurt, right? So if the person fights like they're supposed to, right? And I'm putting up air quotes like an asshole because like this is what we're told all the time. Like defend yourself at all times. Fighters get concerned, like they criticize fighters when they're talking to the referee, like, hey, he's pulling my gloves. And then, oh, you got to defend yourself at all times. Stop. Wait, what the heck? You can't talk to the ref. Okay. So they criticize them all the time for that. So if you don't do that and you just continue on fighting, a couple things could happen. One, it could just go completely missed and then you're just shit out of luck. Or 2, this happens where you just, it's just a normal foul. No problem. He just kneed you in the head when it's count. And then the commentary team played it off like, oh, well, there was a rule change. What rule change? You mean the grounded opponent hand rule? That doesn't apply here, dingalings. His knee was down. That's always been the rule. That has never been a legal kick or knee to the head. Never has that been legal. If your knee is down, you are a grounded opponent always. Even when it was the weight-bearing rule. God dang, stop throwing up air quotes. What a douche. Even when it was the weight-bearing rule, knee down is always down. If your knee is on the ground, you are a grounded opponent. Now, do I think that's a stupid rule? Absolutely. You should be able to get kneed in the face from anywhere. I'm okay with that. But that's the rule. And what punishment does Eryk Anders get? Hey, don't do that anymore. Don't you kick him in the head when he's on the ground. Don't you knee him in the head when he's on the ground. Huge left hand from Weidman as Anders steps in. He drops him with it and rides out the round on top. Weidman does win this round. He outstruck him 13-11, but that was that big strike that make the big difference. But second round, Weidman looking for a lead hook, defends the takedown with a guillotine, but ends up on bottom. Anders gets on top, gets into the he gets in he's on top of him in his guard. And he's landing a decent amount of shots. He obviously landed a lot. 51-3 for striking numbers, right, in favor of Anders. I don't have a problem with Mark Smith stopping this fight. So I was wrong. It wasn't Mark Goddard who did it twice. It was Mark Smith, a different Mark. I don't have a problem with him stopping the fight. But stop it after he takes a big shot. Don't stop it in between when there's nothing going on. Chris Weidman was clearly upset when he stopped it. He was clearly with it, clearly there. And there was 10 fucking seconds left again. It's so annoying when that happens. There's no reason to stop that fight in that exact moment. He picked the absolute worst time to stop it. Well, maybe not the worst. Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. This one kind of played out how I thought it would. Durden's a gritty fighter, really looking to get in there, similar to like the Nate Landwehr Doo-Ho Choi fight. It was going to be, like a dirty fighting, getting on the inside, dirty box and stuff versus Van, but Durden really needed to finish early because Van was just going to pick him apart and pick up on all of his bullshit and then download it and then be able to use it against him later on. That's exactly what happened. What we saw here. Durden does get tired, and we know that, right? Both guys throwing kicks, Van landing hard early, Durden finding success with that uppercut to the body, shoots in and gets him down, able to get him down with a bit of a struggle, holds him down for 3 minutes. Van using that jab well, slick boxing is giving Durden issues. Van also has that crazy chin, so the stuff that Durden's throwing at him isn't stopping him from moving forward. Durden ends a round shooting for the takedown. Close round with the damage. I think Van landed enough to separate him, though. Van outlanded him 30-14. It's a bigger gap than I thought. Durden, I don't know how he landed 30 shots in less than 2 minutes because he was on his ass for 3 minutes and 14 seconds of it. But yeah, anyway, I gave this round to Van. Second round, Durden lands a nasty right hand, but then Van lands whatever he wants. Durden just looks tired as usual, and like I said, Van's picking him apart. He needs a Hail Mary here. Van is just landing everything he wants. Durden lands once in a while, but he's getting beaten up, and I was like, you can give this a 10-8, even though that Durden landed 27 shots, he took 72. So much damage. I gave this a 10-8 round. So I had a 20-17. Last round here, Durden finding the mark with a few right hands. Van landing hard low kicks, mixing it up. The punches going to the body and up top, landing really well, pretty much everywhere. Not as big of a beatdown in the third round as it was in the second. And Durden did find the mark more. 63-29. I know it's still a big gap, but it is a lot closer. Durden made it to the bell, which does, but he took so much damage in order to do that. Looking at the strike, so you had Mike Bell, who wanted death, apparently. Also, he gave Durden that first round. Was everybody fucking high? Mike, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You don't think Van did enough damage? Anyway, Eryk Cologne gave the last round a 10-8. I would have given the second round a 10-8, not the last one. And Ron McCarthy wants to see death. Mike Bell didn't have any 10-8s in his card either, so fucking... I told you there was going to be some shit. I said it in the main one, that even though, the judge's decision was correct, I knew there was going to be some stinkers out there. Fucking ridiculous. All right, Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. Great fight for the most part. I mean, not a slugfest or anything like that. Just a decent amount of good grappling tie-ups and things. If you're into that kind of stuff, it was kind of fun to watch. Griffin chases him down. Chiesa able to gain some ground, land a left hand and a follow-up, get into that hip right along the fence, a standing backpack. Chiesa could get tired from this like he has before, but he falls off the back. Chiesa looks like he's kind of done with the blood and guts fighting. There's just moments in there you can kind of tell. He's a technical guy who wants a technical win, but he doesn't want to sit there and get the shit kicked out of him for 15 minutes. He doesn't want to kick the shit out of someone for 15 minutes. He just wants a good technical win. Chiesa gets a takedown in the middle of the cage, lets him up and gets a takedown again onto the back with 14 seconds left, securing this round. 6-3 for striking numbers in favor of Chiesa, but that wasn't the story of the round. The minute and 35 felt like a lot more for Chiesa. Clearly his round. Second round, Griffin, weary of the takedown, wants to explode in and then return to the outside, does not want to stay in that middle range, doesn't want to stay in that clinch range, wants to get in and get out as fast as he can. Griffin pushes him to the cage. This round is a low striking output, but exhausting with the amount of grappling and movement they are making. Chiesa uppercuts his way into the clinch, shoves his arm up, gets a duck under, gets to the back, and the leg ride against the fence. Harder round to score because not a ton of striking. Most of it was from Chiesa. Apparently, the striking numbers were dead even, 5-5. But if you looked at, the total strikes were 38-11. That's where Chiesa really made the jump. And that's why I said it's a hard round to score if you just look at the main things. 5-5, minute 20 to minute 19. Hey, that's dead even. Yes. But then also Chiesa he was 0 for 3 on his takedowns, which means he was attempting takedowns, right? Total strikes were 38. That's a difference maker. And he did attempt more strikes, 16. Right? They landed the same, but somebody was attempting them more, and that counts for something when all things are being equal. Somebody is attempting offense more often, so I gave that second round to Chiesa. Last round, Griffin starts the round like he did with the first, chasing him down. Chiesa ducks under that right hand, gets a single leg right into the back along the fence, and getting that rear naked choke finish. Great for Michael Chiesa. I don't know how many more he's got left in him, but it's good to see him get that win. All three judges gave that first two rounds to Chiesa, so good on them. Look at that. Saul D'Amato. Good job. All right. Let's talk about Chase the Dream Hooper versus Clay Guida. The Carpenter. Hey-oh. Anyway, Hooper going with those long high kicks. Guida with the chaos hooks, trying to move in as usual. Classic Clay Guida. Hooper gets the trip from the clinch, but Guida gets back up, spinning in. But he kept trying to get the takedown back. He kept trying to get the takedown and get the switch. It just was a big mistake from him. A huge hip toss from Hooper, back up, then down, and Hooper with the twister hook on the back. Hooper is just flowing so well when Guida gets a takedown. He keeps going for the arm bar, and then eventually he gets it. Pretty deep one, bent his arm back forward. That was pretty nasty. So Hooper getting the win there, looking really good over the veteran Clay Guida. That's a good win. I know Guida isn't what he used to be, but getting a win over him isn't just a given. You have to do it. All right, Luque Brzeski versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. And then I just say, like, at the beginning of this, I was like, let's see if Kennedy tries earlier in this fight or if he takes a bunch of hits and then comes back like he usually does. So Kennedy finding success with that left straight. Brzeski lands a nice right hand through the guard and trying to counter. It just looked like Brzeski just was like a couple levels below here, and he rightfully so. He was Kennedy was a huge favorite, so he should win this. Kennedy mixing it up well, using the stabbing kick to the gut and able to stay on the front foot. Brzeski is moving a little slow. He's landing, but he's getting caught, and as I wrote that, Kennedy landed a left hand, and it's over. Second biggest favorite on the card, only behind Chase Cooper, and getting the win as he should. All right, that is it for the prelims. That is it for UFC 310. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. And if you liked this video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. So I appreciate y'all. It means a lot to me. Have an amazing week. Love y'all. Peace.